there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Pirate Uber Alles mod. Last time around we had quite the fight with Armfolk's army. We ended up winning, however in the process half his army was destroyed, and I wasn't able to follow up on the victory, and quite a few of the Ottoman forces managed to flee. Since then the Ottomans haven't actually attacked, and I got a lot of time trying to build up my forces. As we can see, I have built up my forces quite a bit. So what we've got right now, or why I'm starting to record right now, is because two other nations have declared war on me. But I was actually planning on waiting to attack the Ottomans until they have finished this, so that I would be able to have control of this fantastic building then. It's 2 turns away. It could be that I allow them to actually build it, but the thing is also, another reason why we're having to go at them right now, some of these guys aren't moving, so that's not a problem, and we have a single unit up here, and that's not a problem. The problem with the Ottoman right now is that they have become quite rich, and they've started doing this. So end turns take forever because they've decided to move. I'm not going to click on them because it's going to lag like hell if I do. Each one of these decides to move like 5 inches there, 5 inches there, or 6 there, and so on, back and forth, and it takes forever. It took me to do this last end turn probably 15 minutes, and I'm not joking. So they're doing this, so I need to hit them. Luckily for me, it is progressing, but it's just progressing really slowly here. Wait, I'm noticing here, I think the Ottomans have like these stone roads almost everywhere. Huh. Their empire is a lot more evolved than I thought, just given what I've seen against sort of the European powers. They have the stone road almost everywhere, and that's pretty darn expensive. Anyway, so that's partly why we're doing it. Also, the Russians declared war on us. The thing is, the Russians have spread out their troops, so we're not going to get the major sort of fight that we wanted. So what I'm thinking here is that we'll move in, we'll take their current capital from them, and then immediately sign a peace deal, and then hopefully they'll focus all their troops and all their manpower and everything down here around Ufa. And I've already started giving them loads of military technologies. So I'm probably also gonna have to give them money because they're quite meager. As you can see, a lot of their banners are tattered, and that's not because of winter attrition or anything. That's because of they've been unable to pay their troops. They have no money whatsoever. They're slightly bankrupt. They're -12 in this province. They have forced to exempt it from tax because of religious unrest, the bankruptcy, clamor for reform, people in government, and so on. And here they're losing 18 wealth per turn. Everyone's atheist, and they're only making 1,300 from here. 1,300. They're not going to be able to pay for all of these troops. Plus, they also got this Caspian Sea Navy, which is just awful. I was wondering, what are all of these ships? These are specific ships that you can recruit from this specific fishing port, and you get specific Caspian ships. So we're gonna get a 1-to-1 fight where I'm gonna have the exact same navy as the enemy. I think they have one stronger ship for their admiral with... No, it's the same Caspian ship. I thought maybe he had a bigger one. But specific Caspian ships that's gonna be used here. Anyway, so that's what's going on here. But what I think we will start with is what's going on here. So Savoy decided to declare war on me. And they're looking to take Milan and Lombardy from me. The province is pretty shit, and I don't want to invest time or money into fighting these idiots. So we're gonna hand Lombardy over to the Genoese, and we're gonna go from there. And with that, I'm gonna save a little money by disbanding these troops, and then we're gonna hand over Milan to the Genoans, in that way blocking Savoy from attacking us. Now they could attack us with the navy, but I very much doubt that the Savoy AI is going to be clever enough to do that. So they're going to sit there in their awful little place, and yeah, eventually I'm sure we'll come to some kind of agreement. There we go, there's Genoa. Wait a minute. Protectorates? Wait, are they... Does that mean that... No, multiple nations can't have them as a protectorate. Genoa controls Württemberg, Westphalia, and the Austrians as their protectorates. What kind of trade... What kind of diplomatic master is this guy? There's no way they start with all of this. Especially Austria. So somehow they managed to negotiate to become the to have these three nations become protectorates. I wish I would be able to be as clever as this fella. How? Right. And now, without you doing anything, you're gonna get a territory. You're gonna get Lombardy. This guy, they're gonna write some stories about this guy, managed to get Austria, Württemberg, and Westphalia as that, and then all of a sudden, the Swedes decide to give them Lombardy. And 2 technologies as well. Oh, why are we not trading? Oh, the trade deal broke because we lost this border, but then we gained this, so I had to reassemble the bloody... Right. Well, now Lombardy is yours. There lives almost 3 million people there. Unfortunately for them, they're all starving because they do not produce any food in this region whatsoever. Right, but now I have a buffer against the Savoy, so I don't have to worry about them. In terms of the Ottomans here, I think because so many of their troops are outside the city, we can perhaps fight them outside the city, clean away all the forces in one big battle, and then I can sit outside the town with it being basically ready for conquest for 2 turns until they've finished whatever palace this is. And once that is done, Bob's your uncle, the thing's gonna be mine. But I'm wondering here if we might want to close out this bit first, actually. And then do the Ottomans. So maybe I should strike here first and enact my plan against the Russians, which is to take this out. Then force Russia into another peace. Have them trapped here. And then get that last battle where we hopefully able to gather all Russian troops in one area and have Charles attack it. So the problem here why that didn't happen was because the Russians declared war on me and not the other way around. So that's why we ended up in a little bit of a situation. I want to see just... Yeah, they're not going to get reinforcements. 4,500 men. Charles, unfortunately, will not be able to reach. And only the cavalry would be able to join, but the cavalry wouldn't be that useful in this fight. Actually, it would be useful to send Charles's cavalry over here, because the army up ahead doesn't have that much cavalry. So we would do this fight and then do the Ottomans. So let's do this as quickly as possible. But we'll get to see the new troops. And I also have platoon firing and fire by rank. So hopefully we'll be able to display both of those systems. The battle is about to start. I have woken up the hornet's nest as we can see the enemy's cavalry is now sallying forth. I was hoping to be able to get rid of those ship carronades before I'd advance, and that's how the fight started. So we have a load of annoying cavalry attacks going in everywhere as the enemy is protecting their silly little fort. Soon enough though, I should be able to force the cavalry away and proceed with my attack on the fort, which I should be able to do right about now. So this side should be able to advance, and hopefully we'll be able to fight down the ship carronades and make it a hell of a lot easier for us to advance on this silly fort. There's some impassable terrain here, isn't there? Guess so. Let's march the troops forward. Let's go ahead and hit that dragoon before it comes back. So you've probably already seen the troops, as I might have done a little bit of a cinematic view in the beginning. So we've got the regular troops, and then I put one royal unit out here, or I believe most of them are actually bringing up the rear here, and then additional 2 units out here on the side, and then of course the new grenadiers, and then the new guns where they actually have the proper grey uniforms. And then the general unit right here. Alright. Let's have the grenadier march forward and blow a hole in the wall. Now, infantry, when infantry fires on cavalry, I still believe that they fire everyone at the same time. However, now when they're gonna fire at infantry, that is when we'll see the fire by rank. Hopefully, anyways. We have more bloody cavalry coming out. And a bunch of Cossacks. Not every grenade hit the wall. Quite a bit of it hit the our own unit, but also this Cossack unit, which is now broken. Now we're gonna order them to fire at will. Let's go ahead and see. They need looks since they're not everyone firing at will right now. It should mean that yep. Now we're getting fire by rank. These troops, and then for these troops out here, or these guys in the back, we should get platoon firing. So the unit out here, I think, should be doing platoon firing, while these guys will be doing fire by will, or fire by rank, I mean. I'm gonna move up the grenadiers again to try and hit the enemy with another round of grenades, and then we're gonna see about, I don't think I need this many units here, so we can deploy another 2 off to this side, and we can completely encapsulate the castle. Oh, we hit the house in the middle. Wonderful. We got big pile. Crushing. Load of troops inside. Oh, the grenadiers are doing platoon firing. But I do want you to throw grenades and blow that wall sky high. Let's see, are these guys doing platoon fire? No, I think they're doing fire by rank as well, because they're not firing right now. Yep. They're also doing fire by rank. Okay, so we didn't get the grenade throw that I was hoping for, but as we move closer here, we should be able to get it. Now, I've set my guns to fire at this section of the wall. I'm gonna switch it to fire at the very back. I'm gonna see what that does. Wonderful volleys being fired here by my troops down towards the enemy. Oh, you should not be firing at will. Not just yet, anyways. Ready with grenades. Toss grenades. Some talk of Alexander, but I talk of hand grenades. We blew a hole in the center of the wall, but I want more. Give me more. Open up this wall entirely. %, 18. Give me more grenades, god damn you. Below these walls, sky high. Right, I want all 4 units now to encompass this side. More grenades! These 2 units in the back should be moved to the front in order to fire at will. The enemy is trying to sally forth. I'm gonna move forwards these units, and I'm gonna order them to hold fire and then wait for the enemy to come out of the fort to do more damage to them. Right, they're we're gonna have to withdraw the grenadiers just for now, as the enemy is sailing forth. I figure it's a bit risky, but I can have some of my artillery then firing to break down the wall. As these Cossacks and Streltsky is moving forwards. So we've broken 2 holes in the wall, but I need more holes in this wall. Right, you guys fire at will. You should be firing at will as well. I'm pleasantly surprised to see that so far none of my infantry units have actually retreated from battle. Since this is, for most of these units, it is the first battle they're taking part in, I was a little bit worried that perhaps they would break. Okay, we've opened a hole here. I haven't been aiming for this at all. More troops coming out of the castle, being forced to retreat. Alright, let's move the grenadiers forward again. Ready for them to open up holes in the wall. I'm gonna order the guns again to fire at the very back of the castle. Wonderful volleys being rendered at the fort. This side right here getting shot to pieces by the Royal Regiment. The enemy throwing hand grenades? I thought it was my unit that was down to 77 men, but that was the enemy unit. Right, the grenadiers threw the first round of grenades. They've opened yet another hole. This one's at 99%. Should be open soon as well. For some reason they threw into each other. So now we've opened this side. This unit was just now completely killed by the troops firing at it. Terrible destruction of the poor defenders, the poor Russian troops defending the fort. There is still, however, quite a few of them left here. Ah yes, I forgot. My spy that's in the castle actually blew up the gate. So the gate is open for us to advance into. Volley after volley is being fired towards these few Cossacks, and they're actually quite effective. But will these guys be able to fire off the gun before we're able to kill them? Which seems like it, because he's scratching his ass. He's got plenty enough time to scratch his bloody ass. Here's someone coming back. Right, it's high time to go ahead and get rid of these guys. I'm gonna move the grenadiers over to this side. And then we're gonna see about storming the fort. I think first thing is to get these troops closer to where we need to go. Same here, with the units behind moving up as well. And similar here, we need to get this side tighter. I'm gonna see about shooting into the fort for a little bit. before we go ahead and storm it from as many sides as possible. So the gate is open, so we can get in there. We can get in through all this wall. Here is almost 50%, so I'm hoping that my grenadiers will in fact be able to blow this wall sky high as well. Although right now the Russians are actually coming out of the fort. I'm gonna tell my men to hold fire and wait to get these volleys going as they're now coming out. Let's see, do we get 75%? So not there just yet. But pretty close. Just a little bit more. 96 here. Alright, now we blow this side open. I just want to open this, some area here as well. Right, with that I'm gonna have these two units storm the fort through there. And we're gonna have these coming through the gate. And preferably I'd blow a hole here as well. And now these units will now also try and gain entrance. Right, 75. Come on, a little bit more. 88. Right, the troops here are being stopped by one Cossack. Oh, they're all decided. There's so many areas of entrance, but they all decided to go through the center one. Come on, it's so little. We're so close to open up. I think it's the enemy general. Alright, forget about throwing grenades then. Oh, they just did. Let's see. It's enough! They broke a hole. Right, storm the fort, grenadiers. Storm the fort. And then I want you to climb. So we got troops coming in here, dealing with the Cossacks. And then we've got the grenadiers now coming in through here. I ordered one to go in through. I ordered this unit to go in through here. But it decided it also wanted to go through the center. We need to attack these guys in the back so that these two units can actually enter through this opening. But it looks like the entire Russian force might very well give up long before then. Oh, there. We had the first unit break. Exhausted. Fighting through all of that, it broke. Come on, kill those bloody... Oh, we broke them. Good. Right, I want to do this, and I want the grenadiers. I think, yes, the entire Russian force now broke. And I am victorious. The fort is seized, and we only had one unit break as we stormed the fort. But there we have it. With this, I should hopefully be able to sign a peace treaty with the Russians, and we can get our big murderous battle in a later episode. And here's the result of the battle. I deployed close to 7,000 men, 6,700. I lost 1,480 men, with a remaining force then of 5,200. The enemy force was entirely engulfed in flames and killed within the fort, leaving no one after the battle. Friendly fires is about 200-ish, 300 during the battle. When it comes down to kills, we have Swedish line infantry, lost 85 men, managed to kill 571, followed by Royal Infantry Regiment Levy at 300, and so on. Dragoons killing quite a bit as well. Chevrons being gained for every single unit. So they'll be very well ready for the next battle, or the battles to come. And with that, we've claimed Komi in the middle of bloody nowhere. And with that, we're gonna sign a peace treaty with the Russians, forcing their troops all to be within the Ufa region. I know, why does Russia hate New Spain, of all places? They're really happy with, wait. Wait. New Spain here. And oh no, the Russians hate. Oh no, the region is called New Spain. No, they hate each other. They like the Russians like the Spanish, but they hate New Spain for some reason. Odd. I wonder what New Spain has done to them. They're at war! They're at war. Why is New Spain... Never mind. The AI being the AI. I think a white piece. I think they will actually... No, they won't. They're destitute though, so I'm sure me handing technology and a little bit of money, which will hopefully help them to actually have a little bit of a force to fight us in the last battle. Wonderful. And perhaps I should actually trade with them. Nope, they didn't. I'm sure they will ask me for trade though. Now when they're down to a single territory. And I should get my priests over into working over this region. It should go pretty quickly. So now we've forced all the Russians into one region, and that should make it a lot easier to then gather my forces. It's cost me 6,000 to replenish this force. All these spies that I had in the capital. Okay, so when I said there was one spy blowing the gate, I had one spy for every nail in the door. Not that there were 4 nails, but I had a lot of spies. Let's just put it at that. I had a lot of spies in that region. Right. So we managed to conclude this, and now we're getting closer to the last showdown against the Russians. Hopefully they'll gather all the troops in one place. I'll be taking the best of all the troops around here, putting them into Charles's army, and then we crush them. Boom. I'm thinking here now, though, that I've been doing so many long episodes that we'll wait with the Ottomans for the next episode. So we'll skip this for now, and I think in the final moments I just want to make sure that I wonder, I could give Savoy a bunch of technologies. How about that, Savoy? How about all of that and a peace treaty? And now when we don't have any borders... What? How was that not a fair deal? I gave you all that technology, yet you're such an ungrateful bastard. I should send my navy here to block your port, send you to Kingdom Come. Also, for the last battle, I'll actually have time to build up the Caspian Navy, so we'll have a Caspian showdown. Wonderful. So that'll be looking forward to that. And then perhaps I will spend 2 more grueling turns waiting to this to be finished, and then striking at the heart of the Ottoman operations. And then hopefully we'll just imagine that all of this will evaporate once they lose their glorious capital. Noticing here they make a lot more money out of Anatolia. Maybe I should take that. The thing where I did notice is the Ottomans are spectacular in wealth, and I think that is a large part in this. But I also note that look at all their trade partners. They're basically trading with everyone. So I think that's how they make their big money. So, however, what I can see here, like the best ports we have here is like 2,000 from here. There's 4,000, 44,000 here. There's 2,000. There's not a lot from these ports, seemingly. And can I see We've got a few Ottoman trades here. There's 2,000. There's no great, like, tons and tons of money coming from the Ottomans. Maybe if we go to here, take a look at what the Ottomans got. The Ottoman Empire, here we can see something, but through the Mediterranean, 12,000. That's not a lot coming out from there, and there wasn't that much going from India. So I wonder where all is going. Compare that to my trade, if we go where all trade is now going into Sweden through this part. 46,000 through this trade route right here going to Sweden. So I don't know where all the Ottoman money is coming from. Although given the fact that they seemingly have paved road infrastructure in all their settlements almost, it's fair to say that they probably are making a fair deal of money. And 12,000 for Anatolia, that is puts them at a very respectable amount of money, where that's equivalent almost to the French. As we can see, the French are up to 14,000 in wealth. Nothing compares to Stockholm though, at 21,000, with a gain of 28 per turn. Quite a lot of money. But with that said, I will go ahead and end it right now, and we'll pick up in the next episode dealing with the Ottomans. And on that note, I'll say, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.